welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have recently read and enjoyed. And from today onwards, I'm beginning a new season of the show, and I'm very excited to host a guest who's appearing on the show for the first time. Hi, Avkash. Thank you for joining. My today's guest is coming on the show for the first time. Her name is Kavita Jhala, and we are going to discuss her new book, Gram Shots. It's going to be a very exciting episode, so do stay tuned. Let me quickly add Kavita to the live so we can start. Do stay connected. We are going to discuss Kavita's book, Gram Shots, and my latest book, Inked Inheritance. I'm beginning a new season of this show from today, and I'm very excited to host Kavita. Okay, Kavita is already here. Let me invite. Hi, Kavita. Welcome to the show. Very excited to have you here.
Hi, welcome to all of you. And I'm so very much thankful to everyone who is over here on live, and especially glad that I've been able to connect with you. And been long we have talked and chatted, and
Yes.
finally now face to face, though it is through digital.
Yes. Before we start the episode, can you briefly introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yes, yes. I am Kavita Jhala, and I am the founder of Caffeinated Conversations, which is a community of readers, writers, and artists. So basically, I'm based out in Indore, but I was born and brought up in Ahmedabad. So I had a lot of uh, inclination towards books and reading and all that. And then after marriage, when I came to Indore, it is when I started realizing that I was feeling all alone, because in a new city with no friends and all that. So even the books, though they were my companion, it was like, um, kind of you feel that kind of a loneliness that you want to share whatever you're reading with people and how to do that. So
Hmm.
that time we didn't have much of Instagram the way we have it today. So I'm talking about the year 2016, like before that.
Hmm.
And then I just started off with a WhatsApp group. I added a few people whom I knew around me, and then just kind of gathered the momentum. And then I've always written poetry and all that as a child. So, I used to keep on writing in my diary all the poems and then some short stories and all that. And then pandemic happened, and then I realized that there are so many stories out there, and I'm just, kind of observing people or picking them up,
Hmm.
but I'm not doing anything about it. So I
Hmm.
just thought, let me just put it all in a document, and when I started writing, it is when this whole thing happened, and I was like, "Gram shot ka draft pada tha," just like there, and then I realized that no, it has been so many years. I should do something about it, and that is when I got it published, and here I am.
Lovely. Congratulations on that wonderful, inspiring journey. And coming to your book, Gram Shots, I'm quickly going to show everyone the cover first. So this is the book of Kavitas that we are discussing today, Gram Shots. And I have to tell you, I was very excited to read it, especially because I knew it's short stories, and I love reading short stories. And it matches the genre of my latest book also. So I was very excited to see how we have handled, a similar genre. But that's where the similarity ends for because there's nothing. I mean, there might be a few themes that are matching, but otherwise they are very, very different. So, firstly, what I liked about the stories is that you have tried to send out a social message through each story, which is very important. And each social message that you have layered within each story, it's very important that we imbibe that in our lives, and to bring about a positive change in the society that we live in. So, I really like that, and you have done that without being very loud or very preachy, which is another thing that I really liked. That it is happening in your routine life, and you don't even realize how it is affecting you. So that's something else that I really like. And on that note, I'm going to quickly read out from one of the stories. I'm going to read out from the first story itself because it was one of the stories that I really liked. So this is the first story, Kalpadhenu, and I'm reading out from Kavita's book, Gram Shots. It starts with a quote. I don't know what to call it. I think it's an incantation, or is it a
Incantation, yes. श्लोक
so,
बोलते हैं श्लोक
हाँ,
जैसे का yeah.
हाँ, मतलब of course हिंदी में श्लोक बोलते हैं. I was trying to get the right English word for it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to skip the incantation because I don't know. I don't want to read it out wrongly, and well, yeah, don't want to offend anyone by reading out wrongly. So I'm going to skip to the part where the story starts. Hardly eating, always smiling. Bound by a rope, I have lost all hope. Taking away everything of mine, though I was willingly giving it away. I loved them all and they loved me. I was their pet, loved by Goala the most. He was about 7 years old when I was born. Initially, I was scared of everyone. My mother trusted them and I began to let them touch me. Goala came to me every day. Slowly petting me, he would give me a piece of jaggery. He used to go to the village primary school in the morning. Our meeting time usually was around later afternoon until I started accompanying my mother outside for feasting on grass every day. As I grew big, Koala would hang his head on my back, embracing me with his arms. Softly, he would call me, Kalpa, Kalpa, you are mine. I won't leave you. I never understood what he was saying, but I could feel his affection. We grew up, years adding to his attention elsewhere. I was still at his shed, at the same spot, but he would be elsewhere. He still came whenever he got free from his schedule of school and farm work. Koala had learned the Sanskrit Madhur Sankatam's lyrics as part of his studies, and he loved chanting them while working in the cowshed and fussing around his favorite kalpa. He would chant, and then there we have the entire Sanskrit script of whatever he's singing out to the cow every day. Then we continue. One day, when Goala was around 14 years old, he brought a few people into the cowshed. I had never seen them before. They covered their noses with handkerchiefs and looked around the shed as if there was a monster somewhere. I wanted to laugh at their behavior, but I merely shrugged my head. They stepped back when I moved my head. What strange people. After a few days, one evening, while returning home from grazing, I didn't find my mother anywhere in the herd. I looked around but couldn't see her. I'm going to stop here. We don't want to give away the spoiler. To know
Yes,
what happens with
cliffhanger डाल दो.
yes, to know what happens with Kalpa's mother, go check out the book and read the story. Not just this story, there are many other stories also. So,
So yeah.
yeah, so wonderfully written. And yes, I forgot to mention one more thing that I really like, that you have added a musical element in all of your stories, which is
Yes.
something I have also done in one of my previous books. And as a music lover, I absolutely loved it. In my book, Heartstrings and Harmonies, with the blue cover that you see behind me, that's exactly what I have done. I have picked up a song
Okay.
and then I have weaved a story around that song. So I absolutely love this because this is only the second or third book where I have read that something like this has been done. So congratulations on that also for bringing out a different angle to a book, which is not something many writers have done. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. But I was actually kind of scared also that would the readers be able to, kind of integrate it when they are reading it, that kind of understanding is that a flow. So
I'm
those
sure
are
there
all
is an
jitters
audience
that
for
you
it.
get.
I mean, if Heartstrings and Harmonies was accepted and loved, I'm sure Gram Shots will also find its audience who will love it. So, yeah, all the best, and I'm very sure it's going to be accepted. So, based on my reading, Kavita, I had a few questions for you if you would be kind
Sure.
enough to answer those. Okay, quickly pulling up the questions. Give me a few seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question to you is several stories here deal with people who are often unheard, unseen, or overlooked. As a writer, how do you balance giving voice to such experiences without turning the story into a sermon?
Yes, actually, when I was writing, I was thinking always that every story should have some kind of a ending, which is kind of, tied to some kind of a moralistic this thing. But
Hmm.
then, that is how we have been shaped in our childhood also. That stories end with something, some kind of a summarizing one liner or something. But
Hmm.
then I didn't want to, make it very, like you said, like a sermon.
Hmm.
So what I tried in doing is was like I tried in putting it as a kind of a, poetic ending to it, or a
Hmm.
poetic justice kind of an ending to it.
Hmm.
And frankly speaking, when I was writing all the short stories, each of the stories, when I would end, there were times when it sounded very preachy, and I had to redraft, you know.
Oh,
And
okay. Wow.
because when I am a reader, I read a lot of books all the time. So then I would need a kind of go back to the reflection once I finished one story, and then I would reflect: would the readers like to read this ending or not?
Okay.
So that is when that symbiotic relationship of a reader and writer, that would kick in.
Hmm.
So when I used to write without thinking anything, like it would flow. But once it ended, that whole thing would kick in, and then I would be very conscious, it shouldn't leave a negative mark on the
Hmm.
reader.
Hmm.
So
Right.
that is
Thank
how
you.
I
Thank
had
you
to
for
try
being
to.
so honest. And I think, yeah, being uh, separated from your writing and looking at it objectively really helps. I think that's what helped you also to not make the stories too preachy or too, trying to teach a lesson where you didn't mean to teach a lesson. Yeah,
Yes, 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 exactly. And it is tough actually.
it is tough. It's tough.
People say it is very easy. It is very tough,
Yeah, it is.
actually,
Yeah.
for any author. In fact, whether you are famous, popular, or just starting out, each time you write down something, it is really very much hard hitting. And
Yeah.
that is where, I have talked with authors over the years and all, but once you step into their shoes,
Hmm.
once you experience that, is when you realize that no, this is something that uh, you know I didn't realize it consciously. Like you know at the back of the mind that yes, authors find it hard,
Hmm.
difficult, but unless and until you experience it by yourself, that objectivity is very much different. It's
Yes,
like a third party testing.
exactly.
This is the first, induction. It's the whole thing experiencing it yourself.
Yes. Which brings me to my second question, which is that your stories touch upon literacy, marginalization, caste, and women's struggles. Do you begin with a social issue and build a character around it, or do you begin with a character and discover the issue through their journey?
Actually, when I started writing, two, three stories were already clamoring in my head.
Hmm.
So I just put it down, all this. And then as two, three stories started building up, that is when I started realizing that there were situations around me
Hmm.
which I wanted to put across.
Hmm.
Now, how do I put the situation across? Should I put a spotlight on one character, or just write it down as a social construct, or how should I do it? That came up much later. It was the
Hmm.
situations that actually picked out the stories for me. So, character building and all that came up later on. It
Okay.
was like, that whole
Different.
situation, that setup, and all that kind of lend things to my imagination, and then that whole characterization took place.
Wow, that's really inspiring and something I can learn from, because for me the characters come first and your process is completely different from mine and it has turned out so well. So yeah. It just goes to show that we each have our own method of working around our stories and writing. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah, but then actually I was like wondering, because I had heard a few authors, I mean, who are talking about short stories especially, and they say that in short stories, what happens is if you are focusing only on one character, then it makes sense. Otherwise, what happens is that the story becomes too long.
hmm,
And when I wrote these short stories, that time I didn't think of anything of this.
hmm,
this was this what I learned very much later that
Mhm.
okay, yeah, this
Yeah.
happens.
So exactly, everyone has their process, and
Hmm.
they do say that the best way to learn it is by doing something. तो अपने अपने करते करते
अपने
सीख लिया.
yes, exactly. That's true.
Yeah. I also just one question popped up in my head, which is about the different. Since we are talking about the characters now, a question has just popped up. So, how did you differentiate between the various characters? Because there is one particular section of the book where you have written stories which are seem to be connected, but they are not connected. They are under the same heading, but they are little snippets from the same village or from the same set of characters. I later realized that you were trying to say something, but it is only at the end of that segment that you understand what you were trying to do. So what was that idea about, and how did that characterization happen?
I think you're talking about Chopal Diaries, which
Yes.
have very, very many stories. So it is a short story, but having lot of mini stories. Actually, this whole short stories, the book was totally inspired from the village that I live in. You know, like I'm in the city, but we go to our village during festivals and important days and all that. And when the pandemic, I was there only. So
Okay.
there we have this whole system in the village. There is a system anywhere you go in India. वो एक अच्छा सा पेड़ होगा उसके नीचे थोड़ी सी जगह होगी and then they sit. So that is called a chopal.
Hmm.
So the chopal diaries is something inspired from that. That people talk about different things happening in the village. You know, there are discussions, किसी का क्या हो गया, अरे उसने ऐसा बोल दिया, इसने ये झगड़ा कर दिया, you know, all those kind of, talks. And that is where I realized that uh, people can imagine that as, as some group of gathering of people who are sitting there and, talking about all the happenings that is happening around them. So I wanted the characters to be kind of a fluid. I didn't want to name them or something. I just wanted it to be, kind of news snippets, but something that is also, emotionally connected to the village and village life. What is happening over there? What is happening to men, women, and all the people. So that is
Okay.
how, that whole thing came
So
up.
yeah, so that chopper is like a focal point for the entire village. सब कुछ वहीं से connected होता है. लोग वहाँ पे बैठ के सारे discussion करते हैं. वहाँ पे बैठ के सब कुछ
रिजॉल्व
decide
भी
भी होता
करते
है. हाँ, सब
हैं
decide भी वहीं होता है. Gossip भी वहीं होती है. सारे decisions भी वहीं लिए जाते हैं. So it's like the focal point, like the heart of the village.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
that's what inspired it. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I think I am done with the questions that I have popped up in my head also. अगर कुछ और आया तो I'll ask later on. But now the floor is yours. You have also read my latest title. Please take it
Yes, yes. Yes, and I'm so glad that I took it up. And I was like wondering why I haven't read her previous books. I was like, my
up.
God, Manali.
For everyone,
Yes,
the
I
book.
have got your book, but then it is
Oh,
not in
wow.
color. It is in.
Yeah, you have the Kindle. That is why. Kindle device. I have the tablet. That's why it's in color.
But then my Kindle is too old anyway. All I think some of the readers are facing a lot of issues with Kindle. So it is very traumatic actually.
Oh, okay.
Kindle के लिए कहीं से निकाल दो, फिर वहां से डाउनलोड करो, फिर दूसरे डिवाइस से डाउन. Oh my God.
Okay. Okay.
But that is Amazon wala part. We don't have to talk about that. That's another rant for
Yes.
another day.
Yes. Coming
So
back
I
to
would like to know something about you actually, and I know that you are doing this whole hop, and I know a lot of things about you, but then I never knew you as an author. So can you tell me something about you as an author? Like what just started
that,
off the thing
I'm going
in
to
Harry?
keep it very brief. I am an author, I'm a blogger, and I'm also a freelance writer and editor. So these are the various hats that I wear.
Okay.
Author of 12 books. This is my 12th book. As a blogger, I'm a very active blogger, and I also do a blog hop series with Sukaina Majid called Every Conversation Matters Blog Hop series, where we give out a theme for every month where we invite bloggers to write on various topics every month. So that is another part. And freelance writing, I do for various magazines and e-magazines internationally. And as an editor, I edit books and blogs for other authors and bloggers.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
those are the roles.
So basically, you eating, sleeping, everything, books, books, books,
Yes.
and writing.
Yeah, that I forgot. I'm also a reviewer, so that is another thing. So yeah, as a blogger, I also review books on my blog.
But then, I mean, I don't, I have read this, your inked inheritance, and I'm so totally like, well, why didn't I meet her earlier? Why didn't I
Oh,
talk with her
oh,
earlier? It
thank
was like,
you.
you have created such a engaging imagery about, the stories, that those twists, the turns, and some of the stories are pretty straightforward also. There are no twists and turns, but then there is some emotional core memory that you have, you know, hidden in each of the stories, and that is where I found. The beauty of each of the stories that you have put in, and then you have slotted them also, that is,
Mood
that's
swings, yes.
really nice, that's really nice, you know and it makes it easy for the readers, to navigate through all the stories and all that, and then to what to expect also
Yeah,
emotionally. So
yes.
that is also one of very good, that's been one of the very good ideas of your short story, and I really loved the thing. What I liked is that there is no heavy reading. Matlab, everything is like smooth sailing, you evenly paced out, But that, like I mentioned about emotional core, that is one of the most important part
Thank
of
you.
your story, and that's really, really very good. So you have really done a very good balancing act of putting the elder generation and younger, and in between, that whole binding of all of them, putting them together, stories, which is really tough. I know it's very
Yeah.
tough because each of the thought process is different, and yet you have put it all together, and that's really, really good. And I would say, if all the readers who are over here, that if you are going to have a rainy day, please pick up this book
Thank you.
because this is going to
No,
be
thank
very
you.
nice companion for
Thank,
rainy days.
thank you so much.
Really
Any
good.
particular story or passage that you want to read out that you really
Yes,
like?
I'm going to do that. Yes, yes. So I have this From Soul to Soul. That's one of the stories that I like. Of course, I liked another one also about the library that grandmother had. But I'm going to read this one because
Just a
monsoon is something on everybody's head. Yes,
I'm
this
sorry
one.
to. Yes.
Yeah. So I will start off with somewhere in between. Okay,
Hmm.
not a problem. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Yes.
What is it, Aji? Why is it bothering you so much that the rains are a little late this year? Savitri gave her granddaughter a sad, all-knowing smile. Her
Hmm.
eyes averted wistfully toward her favorite tree in the field before she replied, You know why that tamarind tree is so close to my heart? Neela shook her head, her curiosity now picked in a more upbeat manner compared to the solemn one of many days. She observed her Archie shuffle around in the old wooden almirah for a bit, which only raised Neela's inquisitiveness. Ah, there it is. Savitri settled next to Neela, her small metal box in hand. It creaked as she opened it. From within, she removed a photo album and handed it to her granddaughter, beaming widely, eyebrows raised. Quizzically, Leela opened it to find herself looking at photographs of some sort of feast gathering. She could make out Savitri as a permanent fixture in all the photos, even as the people around her changed. These are photos from every June since 1975, sometime after the first rainfall. Her anecdotal narrative was interrupted by the arrival of the neighborhood family. Shankar had walked in with his wife Shanti and the 5-year-old Sharad. Baba was saying you will be telling us stories when the first rain of the season arrived, Sharad declared, looking expectantly at Savitri. Savitri looked at Shankar, who shrugged and explained, I was telling him how I grew up enjoying your annual monsoon feast, popular for both Hundekai Saru. and your stories of the forest. Wow, isn't that your fabulous tamarind curry, the one Baba keeps craving and complaining that mom can never get right? Neela pipped in. Savitri nodded, once again her eyes on the tamarind tree outside. I make it from the wild tamarind leaves borrowed from that very tree, she said, pointing towards it. It's 100-year-old tree that was planted by my Baba, your great grandfather, Neelu. When she didn't continue, Shankar exchanged a look with Neela and added, ever since I was born, I have been part of this feast organized by Savitri Aji. Everyone from my generation, and even some before that, who live in and around this town, looks forward to this day because Aji tells us folk tales about the trees and forests and how we should respect nature. Is this done on a particular day? Neela asked. Not initially. I just picked Sunday after the first rainfall to do it. But then Shankar and some of the kids from his generation told me about the World Environment Day. We were taught about it in school sometime in the 90s and thought it would be cool to combine Aji's Hundekai Saru feast with this since the goals were so aligned. Neela nodded as Savitri went down. So now it happens on 5th June every year. That's only 10 days away from now, isn't it? Sharad inquired, counting on his hands and then putting up all 10 fingers. Adults and Neela all chuckled, and Shanti ruffled the little one's hair while saying, it hasn't rained this year, but yes, the feast will happen. Savitri shook her head and mumbled, it's not just that the rains haven't arrived. A deep sigh escaped her lips. My tamarind tree hasn't sprouted fresh leaves. The soil near its roots is cracked and well. Without that, how do I make Hundekai Saru? Now I'm not going to say ahead because this is a crucial point wherein something happens. And that is where the readers will read and understand what is Hundekai Saru. There
Yes.
are certain words that you have added into your story, something that a lot of people are not familiar with or is part of the regional dialect or this thing. So, how did you come up with these words? Like, is it part of your vocabulary, like you're in the family or you're this thing?
No,
No.
no. So I'm a Gujarati, and this is not a Gujarati dish at all. I mean,
Yes, yes, yes. That is
so
why I was.
yeah. But yeah, versions of it exist in all communities. I think there are some
Yes.
dishes that have versions of themselves in all Indian communities. We just call it by a different name. So that's when I looked at the recipes and realized, okay, this kind of dish exists in all communities. Gujarati maybe hai, Marwadi maybe hai, you know, Maharashtrians maybe hai. So that was a really nice experience while writing the stories. As for how I came about the regional roots of particular recipes or names and phrases, it was, as I said, for me, the characters come first. Then the story comes, and then I go into very much detail of researching around the story and the plot that I have in mind. So I had this particular plot for the story in mind that I want to build it around World Environment Day, and I want to focus on a recipe which has been passed down from many generations. So that's how I started researching, and I wanted to, of course, place it in a setting where these recipes are not only just considered a legacy, but they are also well respected, and that only happens in some areas like rural areas or less developed areas. Urban areas में ये सब नहीं होता है appreciate इतना जितना rural areas and smaller cities, tier 3 cities में होता है. So that's when I decided that I want to place it somewhere on a coastal area where such kind of things happen. And then, of course, I wanted to bring in the angle of environmental imbalance also, that the rains are not coming on time. Again, as I'm talking about it, I'm realizing that the rains are already late in India. In Maharashtra, especially, we are already facing the problem. So yeah, that's the angle that I wanted to bring in through this story. And then I started researching the recipes that are based in the regional folklore of the of this region, and that's how I came across, this particular dish that is called hunde kai saru, and that's when I, decided that yes, this is a very nice recipe that I can, include in this particular story.
Oh, great. And one thing that I've noticed, like your intergenerational storytelling is, the whole thing is embedded. So, how was your experience in trying to put it together and have a linked this thing, that inheritance? Of course, the theme is there of inheritance. So, how was your experience in trying to actually bridge everything together?
So I have been somebody who has been, hearing, even if I have not been, personally attached to my maternal grandparents, their stories I've heard and grew up. And for my paternal grandparents, they were a very intricate part of my growing up years. My formative years, they were very much there. So I have a special connection with the kind of stories that I grew up listening to, their own life stories or certain folk tales that, they also grew up listening to. So that was a part of my childhood. Even now I hear my grandparents becoming a part of the conversation very naturally. Their name pops up whenever there is a family gathering. Whenever three or four of us meet up, there is bound to be one instance when their name pops up. So that's where the inspiration came from, and that's when I realized that even if they are not actively part of our lives, there's always going to be a certain part of their stories which is going to be attached to our stories. So that was the whole idea around, in the inheritance, and that's why I wanted to bring in that particular aspect into the stories where, each generation is connected through something subconsciously also, even if, consciously we might not be talking to each other regularly or are not a part of our each other's lives on a regular basis. So that's how, I try to connect the generations, and that's how you see the grandparents talking to the grandchildren, and then there is a generation of the parents who are also a part, like a bridge between the grandparents and the grandchildren.
Great, great. That's really very nice because doing that in short stories is kind of tricky, because thinking of so many short stories and then putting it across is kind of कितनी कितनी स्टोरी निकालूं मैं, कितनी कितना वो सोचना
Exactly.
पड़ता है. So what was the trigger point for starting this particular this thing? What
I,
triggered it? कुछ हुआ
uh,
था?
so I always wanted a book where I could talk about grandparents and make it as a tribute to my own grandparents. That idea was always there. I think it sparked when I lost my paternal grandmother in 2018. In December 2018, she passed, and she passed before I could give her a physical book of mine. My first book had already been out, but it was an ebook, and it just doesn't have that feeling. Okay, so I was, working on my goal of becoming an author and having a paperback out, but before that could happen, she passed. So I think that became the trigger point that, at one point in my journey as an author, I want to have a book which will be completely about grandparents because I could not share this joy with them. So that's what sparked it. And then, as I said, with every conversation, with every family member that I interact with, it's impossible not to, go back to the people who you came from. So that's how it kept adding on to my subconscious that, I have to do this someday. I have to do this someday as an author, as a tribute to the people who are responsible for making me the way I am, despite not being a part of my life. So yeah.
This gives me one more question. Like, do authors have a kind of a responsibility towards see, because your themes are also about environment, they're also about growing up, growing well, doing well. I mean, not in economic terms, but also in in terms of your own mental health or growth. And then I means do you feel that authors have this kind of a responsibility towards the readers to enlighten them about the issues, to imagine the future? Like, what is your take on
Yeah.
that?
Uh, I think we have been given a voice which many people don't have. So it is a privilege and a responsibility both. And we need to use it responsibility definitely. And I have always tried to do that in everything that I do as a content creator, as an author, everything. Even with every conversation matters. Sukana is here, so quickly a shout out to my co-host also here. So Sukana and I consciously try to do that with every theme that we bring out. We want to talk about issues that matter. We want to talk about things that are a part of our lives even without us realizing. For instance, in this month we have focused on the World Music Day, and we want people to talk about how music matters to them, what it brings to their life. And through every piece of content that I am doing, with whether it be through my books or whether it be through the stories that I'm putting up on my blog, I try to send out a message which can make the world a better place, because I feel that it is our responsibility. We are privileged to have that, upon us, and we should use it responsibility. Yes, definitely. But it doesn't mean that you also use it as a medium to, spout hatred. You have to use it responsibility, as I said.
Yes, definitely. That is one of the another thing that is totally, coming up on our face and for all of us, and it's really very, kind of not good direction, but we
Exactly.
can't.
Yeah. If you are in a position of being an influencer to even one person, I'm using the wrong word here because the word influencer has become such a hype word today, but that's the correct word, because if you have the capacity to influence even one person's decision, you have to be very responsible.
That's totally true. That's totally true. Actually, it's like, it's so nice to share thoughts that you feel like, talking and talking about a lot
Yeah,
of,
I know.
things.
That
And then,
happens. Yeah. That happens when we talk to like-minded people and people who are in the same field of work as you are. So yeah, that happens a lot.
because I understand that, I've been into freelance content writing before I just shifted into, just writing about the book, and I was like feeling this kind of a disconnect because like everybody was talking about AI, they are saying AI wala content, and then half the people are saying we are giving you ChatGPT this thing, now you change it to creative content, and that is where, I just that was a trigger actually for gram shots.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
Ramshackle already had written, but it was languishing in my drawer, and then I just
Mhm.
said, "Enough is enough. I want to bring out this book. My
Yeah, that
creative
trigger
reserves
happened
are
for you
going
also.
down."
Like, yeah, that sounds like a trigger very similar to mine. So I'm happy it happened for you. Okay, I think we're done with the questions. Should we move on to the more fun part, light-hearted part, which is the rapid fire
Sure.
round? Okay. So,
Yeah,
Kavita, how
definitely.
we'll do this is I'll ask one question and you ask one question. Okay?
Definitely.
Okay, so my first question to you is, if Graham Shorts were adapted into a film anthology, which story would you want to watch first as a viewer and why?
For gram shots, there is this whole story which is called Grinding Stone Halls, which
Hmm.
is the second story actually.
Yes.
And Grinding Stone Halls is a kind of a story that
You
sounds
can
very
see, can you
Bollywoodish.
see the
Yes.
highlights? Can you see the highlights? That only proves that I enjoyed the story.
I have been highlighting in my book also that okay, one day I'm going to talk about this also. And there is this OB couplet also in it, and it is all symbolic and very this thing. So the gram in the gram shot, this particular second story that is there, it is based out in Maharashtra, and it totally has that this thing imagery that has been built up,
Hmm.
that it has something about losing out on the past,
Hmm.
embracing future, but embracing it at what cost. So it has got that emotional undertones which
Hmm.
can, probably make the reader cry and feel, no, I want to know
I
more
think,
about
yeah,
this.
I think it would be visually very क्या कहते हैं, gripping if we start with an anthology, and it begins with the story adaptation, screen adaptation begins with this particular story. Yeah, good job.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, okay, your turn.
Okay, okay. Of course, when we talk about this thing, so we always talk about cafe or a library. So, what is your choice?
It's very difficult, but I think I would go with library because it is quieter. Nobody will be forced to, or rather, I would not be forced to interact with someone socially. So I would prefer library.
Do all the people know in this group know that about you or not?
They know, they know, they know. I will not converse with you if you're not. I'm not. If I'm not in the mood, I will ignore you. They know. Okay.
Great.
My next question to you is: a reader picks up gram shots, and they can only read one story before deciding whether they want to continue with the full book. Which story would you hand them, and why?
So one story that they would pick up. Okay. Uh, I would say that the one which they would pick up would be this one, the Field of Desire.
Hmm.
It's
I know which one it is, but can you
uh,
point me to the number? It is fourth story.
uh,
Yes, yes,
yeah, it is page number 26
yes,
to be
yes.
yes.
Fourth story.
Yeah, fourth story. And
Again,
it
you
is
can see that I have already highlighted
you
it.
have highlighted in each of them.
Yeah.
Because it has got that kind of kind of a romantic setting, thoda sa, and something.
Hmm.
Actually, it is something that a lot of people are doing these days, and actually, a lot of people are tired of corporate work, and then kind of going back to the roots and all that. So it's something that most of the Indians might connect with because it is a
Yeah.
kind of a thing that connects urban and rural
Yes. Yeah,
settings.
I think this is the retirement plan of every Indian who's, currently in their 30s, 40s. They
Yes.
want this kind of life in their 50s and 60s, I think. So everyone will be
Yeah.
able to connect with it. True. Okay. Your turn. Your next question.
Yeah, my questions are very short, but they are something that I want to, kind of figure this thing. So when we talk about mountains or beaches, this is very common question, but I want to know more about you. So mountain or beach person, or you are in between?
I think this really depends, but I think I would pick mountains simply because all mountains have a water body also. So I think that will be satiated. मतलब mountains के अंदर भी beach मुझे मिल जाएगा. Beach के ऊपर मुझे mountain नहीं मिलेगा.
Yeah, I think except for certain places on the Konkan coastline, probably, but
Hmm,
not otherwise. Alibag side or
exactly.
something. Really.
The place where I am staying in, it's impossible to find a mountain on a beach. So, I live in the Netherlands. If you are at a beach, you are at a beach. There is no mountain, and if you are at a mountain, there is a mountain, and there is definitely a water body somewhere.
Oh, great. So, any particular mountain place that you have that
Uh,
has captured
in
your heart?
in the Netherlands, no, but yeah, in Europe, yes, Switzerland, of course. I mean, दोनों है वहाँ पे mountains भी है और lakes भी है, so
Wow. So you are going to, you are having that particular advantage, of going there and enjoying that.
yes.
That's really great.
Okay, my next question to you is one thing modern life could borrow from village life is dash, and one thing village life could borrow from modern life is dash. Justify your answers.
Okay. Something from the life that one should adopt is peace of mind, seriously. Because that is, a lot of people are actually facing the problem of slowing down.
Hmm.
And vil- at- in villages, it helps to connect वाईफाई नहीं चलता इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं चलता पेड़ के नीचे बैठना पड़ता है दैट इज एक्चुअली
Hmm.
इट यू हैव टू स्लो डाउन आप कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते उसके बारे में so when you want to slow down that is one of the biggest ways of going to village having peace of mind and
Yes.
as far as from village to city what they can borrow is the kind of progress that one would have for
Hmm.
example when you are talking about this mountains and this thing, a lot of people have started in their mountainous villages just for homestays and all that.
Yes.
So they were providing Wi-Fi and all those modern amenities. So that is something that the villages can grasp.
Hmm.
That kind of progress, like in terms of adopting tourism and all those measures which can bring in revenue, they
Hmm.
can earn, but at the same time they can be at peace. So
Hmm.
both of them can kind of
Nice.
collide with each
Yeah.
other. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Your turn.
Thanks. Mine is, something that I should have put differently, but I don't know whether you will, if you were to have some food, which is, for 1 month you just have that food, you can't have anything else. So will you choose samosa or kachori?
Neither. दोनों कितना unhealthy है. I mean, रोज तो नहीं खा सकते भाई. नहीं. I mean, once or twice a week is okay. But out of that, yeah, if I have to choose once or twice a week wala, तो definitely samosa. Yeah.
So you are a samosa person. Good, good.
Yeah.
I'm also a
I do
samosa
like
person.
kachori also, but I think I like samosa a little more.
Actually, I'm in Indore. I'm based out in Indore. So in Indore, what is it कि लोगों को पोहा बहुत पसंद है. Poha is, the
Actually,
highest.
हाँ, if you had given me a healthy option, I would have chosen पोहा. कि अगर रोज पोहा खाना है तो मैं खा सकती हूँ.
I hate poha.
Oh my God!
And
अरे इंदौरी पोहा तो कितना कितना स्वादिष्ट होता है. I mean, I have not gotten over it. I tasted it 3-4 years ago, and the taste has not left me. I am not able to replicate also.
do one thing, you take my place, I'll take your place. I'm glad to move out of this place. Because poha and save is like, वो ऐसे national dish होता है ना, जैसे यहाँ पे it is like.
Nilshri saying save दे दो इंदौर वालों को. That is what Kavita is negating. Nilshri, she's saying she doesn't want save poha at all. She's done with it.
Actually, there is a joke that goes on in our group, KK group, is that मैम अगर जॉब नहीं मिलेगी तो सेव सेव बेचना शुरू कर देंगे.
Right.
सेव पोहा
Yeah.
बेचना शुरू कर देंगे. They're like, my God, the whole city is crazy about it.
Okay. Okay, let's come back to the game. My next question to you is, if Graham Shorts and Inked Inheritance exchange one story each, what do you think would fit comfortably in both the collections? Like one story from my book will fit very nicely in yours, and one story from yours
Yeah.
will fit very perfectly.
You're the thing. I think the first thing that clicked in my mind is the umbrellas. This thing.
Uh,
Mine was umbrella flutters, and yours is umbrella borrowed, the
the
borrowed
one,
umbrella.
yes. Nice.
The stories are totally different, but
Yes.
the themes are, like I said, how is it that we both wrote on an umbrella?
Yes. Yours is like a social message, and mine is like completely कहाँ से कहाँ twist आता है, and you don't see
Yeah.
that coming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It starts with something, and and it just goes off with something. मतलब ये कहाँ पहुँच गए?
हम तो बारिश की बात कर रहे थे, ये क्या हो गया?
So that is, like very good. This thing. I mean, it is not similar in that way. It has
Yeah.
got, you know, umbrella
And
as a theme, but
one from yours that will fit in mine. Umbrella वाली. Exchange. Yes. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Your
उसकी
turn.
खिचड़ी बना देते हैं हम उसकी.
Yes. Okay. Your turn.
Okay. When we talk about खाना तो पीना भी तो पड़ता है. क्या पियोगे आप? कॉफी, चाय?
Neither. मैं पक चुकी हूँ. ये this debate is never ending for me. So I would choose hot chocolate. मतलब debate खत्म करो.
Oh my God. Otherwise, a lot of people would say authors यानी 4 दिन पर चाय कॉफी पिया करते रहते हैं. So you have literally
Yeah, I
broken
have
the
broken
mold.
the stereotype. Okay. My last question to you. Which common word best connects both the books? Choose only one. I will give you 5 options. Okay. You have to choose one word that connects both the books in common. Okay. Memory, family, silence, home, hope. These are the 5 words. You have to tell me which word do you think connects both the books the most.
Memory.
Mm. And why?
Because you are talking about inheritance of this thing,
Hmm.
like I've seen repeatedly how grandparents are going back to the times. They're talking about
Hmm.
their situations, then how they some of the kids are also connecting
Hmm.
with how their parents dealt with
Right.
them, and
Yes.
how the grandparents are dealing with their children. That kind. And for me, memory is in a different way because what I the whole crux of having these gram shots was that people remember these stories internally for a long, long time. A lot of people have actually told me that they have been emotionally, kind of broken themselves into pieces. Kind of, when they read my stories, they said, "Okay, my God, they are so much emotionally invested into them."
Hmm.
I said, "That is what I want. That you remember the stories, not word to word,
Hmm.
but remember them as a part of how our lives are in the realistic settings, and how these realistic settings are probably not right for us, and how choices that we make should help us go to a better
Hmm.
direction rather than what we are doing today." So the word that I feel most connects is memory.
Nice. Okay, I think you have one more question left, right?
Yes, yes. My one more question, and that would be like, I don't know if it should say, but when you are a reader, maybe as a book reviewer or just reading like that, what do you feel the most comfortable reading, ebook or a printed copy?
So, for the past few years, I've become a complete ebook reader. So, I think I would choose that only because I think it also provides me ease of traveling because I'm carrying multiple books in a single device. With when I'm carrying paperbacks, पहले ऐसा होता था कि मेरा आधा सामान बुक से भर जाता था बिकॉज आई वुडंट बी श्योर मुझे कौन सी टाइप की बुक चाहिए और कितनी चाहिए एंड व्हेन आई विल फिनिश देम if I finish one, where will I go to find another one? So I used to carry a lot of books. I think that with having uh, become an ebook reader, that problem has been solved. But having said that, yeah, I do enjoy reading paperbacks also because they are easier to carry than because I read on my tablet because it's and that becomes heavy to carry. So I prefer paperbacks that way also because they are lighter in weight to carry around.
Oh wow. I mean, like, whenever you're talking about travel, no, so like my suitcase, my bag has books more and clothes less.
Exactly. I used to face the same problem. Yeah.
But I do have a Kindle. Still, I can't. I need my paperback. Like my life depends
Yeah,
on it.
so when I'm traveling with a purpose of completely cutting off from technology, I carry paperbacks. There are some trips where I consciously try to keep my Kindle away and keep it at home itself and carry paperbacks because I want to be away from technology completely. I have done such traveling also, and I'm very glad that I am able to balance being between an uh, ebook reader and a paperback reader. So that's been going well. The
and
conscious.
then and then airport book pick also gets included in it.
No, no. I make sure that I have enough books. And then within Europe, one good thing is that we have free open libraries. So you can take a book and you can keep a book. You can borrow a book and keep one book that you have already read. So that is a very awesome concept in Europe. I hope it develops in India also. Some places are doing that, but I hope it develops further where you can easily, yeah, collect a book from an open library and keep one book of yours. So that way it's been a blessing for me that when I'm not carrying the Kindle, it books are easily available. Somehow the universe makes sure that I'm never short of books.
Oh, that's a blessing actually, a
Yeah,
very big blessing for us readers who have books.
yeah,
Just put a hand here out there, and then you
yeah.
have books.
Okay. The rapid fire round is done. Now we come to the gaming section. From this season onwards, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have two games. One game will be focused on the guest book, which is your book, Gram Shots, and one game will be focused on my book, which is Inked Inheritance. So the game that I have devised around your book, Gram Shots, is very interesting. So I'm going to give you a few situations here. And since your book is something where, songs are a major part of the stories, based on the situation, you have to tell me whether you will pick a folk song, a film song, or silence for each of these situations. Okay? And you have to tell us why.
Okay.
Okay, so first situation is a farewell.
Farewell.
Hmm. What would you choose? A a folk
Yeah,
song, a film song, or silence? And which song, of course?
okay. Uh, there is one song which I forgot the thing. I'm not a much of a singer actually. But there is this song, you know, uh, जी, जीवन के दो पहलू हैं हरियाली और रास्ता, something of that.
I
You know, like you just go
so
a journey of yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So that is
Okay.
the song that comes to my mind actually.
Okay. Next one, a reunion.
Reunion. आगे भी जाने न तू पीछे भी आने न
Okay.
तू there is something
Yeah.
of that like you know just
Okay.
walking together.
The next one is very obvious because we all do that, which is a wedding. इसमें तो गाने बहुत
Shadi.
होते हैं.
For us wedding is about Ghumar.
Hmm.
So we have a song in Ghumar which is called Chand Chadyo Gidnar. So there's a whole song which is
Okay, it's a
very
folk song.
yes, yes, yes.
Nice.
It is a Rajasthani folk song which we do is Ghumar.
Hmm.
So we wear our traditional dress, पूरा घूंघट होता है, and then we dance.
Oh wow.
Twirling. I think Deepika
Deepika,
Padmavat are very,
yeah.
very, very famous. Oh yeah. So there is
Okay.
this song Chand Ka Chadyo Ki Na, which is about a woman who is longing for her husband who is away from her for a long time, and then connecting with the moon and sort of because the moon is quite high in the sky, and then you have not returned yet, kind of
So
longing.
yeah, you have given us two Hindi songs and one folk song. Thank you. Good variety we got. Yes. Okay.
Wow.
There is another one on the similar lines, but it's a different game. I'm going to give you words, and you have to tell me whether they fit in a village or city or both. Okay. I'm going to give you
Okay.
different words. The first word is community.
Both
Okay. Next one, loneliness.
cities,
Hmm. Next, gossip.
both. We
Okay.
might do it on the Chopal or we might do it on WhatsApp or we do it.
Definitely, yes, true. Okay, next one, tradition.
What?
Tradition.
Tradition is village,
Hmm. Next one, storytelling.
both
And the last one, ambition.
cities.
Nice. Okay. We got a nice mix again. And now we come to the game which is based around inheritance. I'm very excited about this.
So great, great.
This is a bingo game. I have done this for the last two books, and I'm going to continue doing the bingo for this one also. So I'm going to give you certain situations. You just have to say yes or no whether you have done this or experienced this or not. Okay.
Okay.
First one, found an old family photograph.
Yes,
Next one, kept a meaningful letter.
yes,
Next one, remembered a grandparent through a smell or recipe.
yes,
Oh, nice. Next one, return to a childhood place.
yes,
Oh, next one, had a conversation you still remember.
yes,
Hmm. Okay, next one, missed someone unexpectedly.
yes,
Oh, nice. Cooked a family recipe.
yes,
Hmm. Next one, thought of someone while traveling.
yes.
Wow. Heard a song from another chapter of life.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot.
wow. Next one, sat quietly under a tree.
Yes,
Hmm. Okay. Next one, wondered about a different path your life could have taken.
always a lot of times I think that.
Okay. Next one, opened a box of keepsakes.
Oh yes.
Oh, nice. Next one, called a family member just because.
Not yet.
Okay. Next one, wrote down a memory before it faded.
Yes, I think I did. I mean, I'm going to do it.
अच्छा तो मतलब अभी फिलहाल तो नो है.
नहीं, एक्चुअली वो है ना, वो टेक्स्ट बुक की आइडिया है शायद.
Oh, nice. Okay. Next one. Realized someone shaped who you are.
Yes.
Okay. Next one. Felt nostalgic watching the sunlight fill a room.
Wow. Why do it most of the days, you know, in the morning?
Next one. Shared a comfortable silence.
Yes.
Next one. Continued a family tradition.
Yeah.
Awesome. You're doing exceedingly well, by the way, I have to tell you. And the last one. Lost yourself in a book.
Always.
So this is one question I have always included in my bingo, and I have to confess that it is a trick question. This is to make the guest confess that yes, Manali, it was your book that we got lost in. And
That's
you
good
said
one.
you failed, but yes, but you said every time. So yeah, that counts.
I do that. Every book, every good book, actually, irrespective of whether the author is popular or not popular, or I picked it up the first time just for the fluke of it, I get lost in them. So it's like, I don't
Okay,
know, maybe a professional वो क्या बोलते हैं इसको बोलते हैं ना
professional
it's
has won.
yeah.
And that brings us to the end of the games and also today's episode. Before I let you go, I do this with every author, almost every author that I have as a guest, especially those I had a lot of fun talking to. So I'm going to ask you this one last question. When are you coming up with the next book so I can have you again?
I am going to come up with the next one at least by the end of this year
Okay, wow.
because my publisher is after my life.
Yeah, that one I can understand, yes.
No, she is also inspired by my parents because my parents said where is next, so she picked out that and said now your parents are saying where is next, so I am going to be after your life.
Nice. So by the end of 2026, we will have another book from Kavita.
Yes, yes,
Awesome. Looking forward to it. All the best.
yeah.
And thank you for being on the show. Anything else that you want to share before we end?
And I really I am going to pick up your books, and I'm feeling like oh why I didn't do that, so I'm going to definitely do that, and it was really fun, you know, because otherwise what happens is the boring author talks and all that is like we do it, but something fun, interesting that
Thank
talks about authors as persons, their preferences, likes, dislikes, what is the thought process. So your show has been, you know, like very
you.
good mix and blend of both, you know, talking about books
Thank
as
you.
well as
Thank you so
people
much.
who
I'm so happy you
actually
had
put that.
fun. And on that note, before we end, I'm going to quickly show the book covers of the books that we have discussed today. This is Kavita's book, Gram Shorts. You can go ahead and check it out on Amazon. You can reach out to Kavita for the book link also. And then this is my latest book, which you can find on Amazon Kindle. The paperback will be out soon, but till that time, you can enjoy the Kindle version, Inked Inheritance. This is my latest book. So go check out both the books. Both are a collection of short stories. Both are, I mean, I can't talk about myself too much, but I really like Kavita's book. So go check it out.
No, but all of you, please take up Manali's book because see, short stories are something that all of you can fit into your timetable of everyday routine.
Yeah.
So one book, one story of hers, one story of me, and then you know you can
Yeah.
have it. You know, by the end of the month, you can finish it up, both of them
By the end
together.
of the month, you would have finished 2 books. Wow. Your
Yes,
reading goals will also be achieved. So go check out both the books. And on that
yes.
note, let's end today's episode. It was so fun to have you here, Kavita. I'm really looking forward to having you again and reading more from you. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye bye.